travel disruption, and thousands of short-haul seats have been removed from sale by British Airways as they're reducing their schedule between the 8th and 15th of August. The airline says it can only handle a maximum of 100,000 passengers a day until the 11th of September. But could we be seeing a reduced flight schedule for longer? Well, joining me now to share her thoughts, the Chief Executive of Advantage Travel Partnership, Julia Bue-Said. Welcome along, Julia. Good afternoon. Tell us why this has happened.
Yes, good afternoon, Raya. The reason this happened is as a consequence of the capacity limits that Heathrow Airport have put in place right the way through to September. And what that does, it limits the number of seats that the number of flights that airlines can have taken off from Heathrow. And therefore, British Airways, what they have had to do is reduce some of the seat sales, the ticket sales that are available on their existing flight schedules.
OK. Do we think that this is going to end on the 15th of August, as we've been hearing, or given that it was already pushed back from the 8th to the 15th, is it likely that this will continue throughout the summer?
I think it's really difficult to tell. I guess ultimately it's as a result of the Heathrow cap. That's why they're doing it. And one of the things that, for my members as, travel agents across the UK, one of the things that we absolutely need to do is make sure that we have a really resilient, robust service for consumers and for passengers and meet those expectations. And what this does, the consequence, I guess, of what British Airways are doing kind of limits disruption because they're not cancelling flights, they're just restricting the sales, which isn't ideal. Nobody wants to stop sales. For an industry that's been shut down for 2 years, nobody wants to restrict sales. But it is a way of just building some resilience in the whole ecosystem. Building resilience, but having no doubt a real impact on consumers' trust. It's going to be pretty hard for your industry to rebuild that. Oh, look, absolutely. We would absolutely be the first ones to say, again, as I said, for an industry that really has not been able to trade for a couple of years now, the last thing any part of the ecosystem wants to do is to limit what we can sell. However, we've got to try and make sure that we can meet expectations. We've got to make sure we can do that in a robust way. If it means limiting sales, it's not ideal. It's very frustrating for consumers. And I can tell you for sure, more frustrating for a lot of people that rely on having to sell seats on flights for a living. That's extremely important. But we understand why. And as I say, the ultimate issue really here and the ultimate action is as a consequence of the capacity limits that Heathrow's put in place, and airlines have no choice but to meet that.
If a big airline like British Airways is making this move, surely there's a risk others are going to follow suit.
I think it just depends on what capacity constraints they're working towards and what commitments they've given to government as part of the slot alleviation system that's in place, but also as part of the commitment they've given Heathrow, or the mandate that's been given to them, filtered down by Heathrow. So it will depend. I think just on British Airways, it's easy to forget sometimes. I think over 50%, something like 53% of all British Airways flights are from Heathrow. So disproportionately, clearly, Heathrow will be impacted.
OK. Julia, good to get your insight. Thanks for joining us. Julia Bue-Said, the Chief Executive of Advantage Travel Partnerships. And in a statement, Airlines UK, which represents UK carriers, says that building summer schedules that were resilient to restrictions Heathrow has imposed for airlines is number one priority and something the whole industry is focused on.